Well, hey guys, welcome back, and it is now official. We have pretty much the entire cast for HBO's reboot of the Harry Potter series. Now again, this is something much like we've seen with a lot of the live-action remakes from Disney, all these reboots, things that just don't need to exist, things that don't need to happen. Personally, I did not grow up watching Harry Potter. I thought Harry Potter looked stupid. I was a Lord of the Rings fan, so I'm like, hey, Lord of the Rings is great, Harry Potter's dumb. Once I grew up and got over that kind of crap, I watched Harry Potter with my kids, and I'm like, you know what? Some of these movies are really, really good. I really love the character of Snape. I thought he was a very complex character. Again, something that I wish I had actually given myself a chance to watch back in the day. But that being said, we now have Harry Potter for a new generation, for the quote-unquote modern audience, I guess you could say. And Variety has confirmed that we have the official cast for Harry, Ron, and Hermione. Now, if something sticks out to you about these three, and again, I'm going to be very clear, guys, these are children. I don't want anybody to harass, insult, attack. I'm not here to belittle and demean these children because they are kids. They're actors. They have no decision over what color they were born or they're just trying to get a job. Okay, I understand that, and please take that for what it is. I do not have any ill will towards any of these actors. However, you will notice that one of them does not quite fit that pale, pasty white skin that we've seen typically in the past with these traditionally English characters. And again, we'll get into some of the nuance about that in a minute here. HBO's Harry Potter TV series has officially found its Harry, Ron, and Hermione. Dominic McLaughlin will play the role of Harry Potter, Arabella Stanton is Hermione Granger, and Alistair Stout is Ron Weasley. More than 30,000 actors auditioned for the lead roles since HBO launched an open casting call last fall. Filming is expected to begin this summer. After an extraordinary search led by casting directors Lucy Bevan and Emily Brockman, we are delighted to announce we have found our Harry, Hermione, and Ron. The talent of these three unique actors is wonderful to behold, and we cannot wait for the world to witness their magics together on screen. We would like to thank all the tens of thousands of children who auditioned. This is like again, I don't know anything about their acting chops, so this is not a comment on their specific acting ability. But you remember when they went through 3,000, 4,000 kids, however many it was, to find Anakin Skywalker in the prequels, and then they freaking cast Jake Lloyd. I'm worried that we're going to have this kind of situation. Is this the best we could have done? I don't know. We'd like to thank all the kids who auditioned. It's been a real pleasure to discover the plethora of young talent out there, said showrunner Francesca Gardner and executive producer and director Mark Mylod in a statement. The Harry Potter roles launched Daniel Radcliffe, Emma Watson, and Rupert Grint to worldwide fame in the early 2000s. Yes, but again, none of them really did anything afterwards. Emma Watson had some roles. Daniel Radcliffe, I think, has done more stage performances. But ironically, these guys have all attacked J.K. Rowling recently due to the fact that she is, of course, anti-transgender. Except for the fact that, she's a blatant liberal left-wing feminist, but again, the transgender thing is where she draws the line, obviously. Rowling, who wrote the original Harry Potter books, has come under fire in recent years for her controversial views. It's not controversial. It's really funny. That is the one non-controversial view she has, in my opinion. When asked if her views on the trans community made him worried for the show, HBO's chief content officer Casey Beloy said recently, "We already have a show on HBO from her called CB Strike that we do with the BBC. It's pretty clear those are her personal political views. She's entitled to them. Harry Potter is not secretly being infused with anything, and if you want to debate her, you can go on Twitter." Which I think is a fair enough take to have. But of course, Pirate Nation points out that Hermione's been race swapped in the new Harry Potter series. And again, there are people saying that this little snippet out of the book is missing context because white means pale. But J.K. Rowling had this tweet a while back. Actually, it looks like a Facebook post. Is this a tweet or it might be a tweet? It says, "Canon, brown eyes, frizzy hair, and very clever. White skin was never specified. Rowling loves Black Hermione." And this is a response to her talking about a Black Hermione that was cast, I do believe, for a stage performance. But in the book here it says, Hermione's white face was sticking out from behind a tree. "Harry, hurry," she mouthed. Harry could still hear Dumbledore's voice talking. So again, people are like, white as in pale. I don't know. If it was going to be pale, if Hermione's face went pale, why wouldn't it just say that, right? So of course, people are commenting that, Discussing Film is talking about this, and the comments are turned off. Nina Infinity points that out. Of course, Neon has the very, very rational, very base take. I appreciate this very much. He says, "I feel sorry for the kids getting cast in the Harry Potter reboot. They're going to get it from all sides from the internet crazies. There's literally no way to win this one." I agree, but I will say the one way that they could have won this is maybe not try to make race such a divisive topic in the first place by race swapping characters that people already knew and loved. And we'll get to that in another second here. Kata pointing out it's so blatant, talking about the casting of some of these characters. Now, in general, some of them look fine. I'm not convinced about Jonathan Lithgow as Dumbledore, but we'll see. Well, it remains to be seen, especially given how old he's going to be when the filming is finally done. He'll probably pass away, regretfully before the filming is over. But the most glaring one, I would say, is, of course, Papa Asidu, or however the heck you say his name, as Snape. Of course, this has been a very controversial thing, given the fact that this Papa Asidu guy, I believe he is a pro-LGBT, free Palestine, very pro-trans person. Ironically, as far as all of his politics go, other than the trans stuff, he'd probably get along with J.K. Rowling very well. But this prompted a question of J.K. Rowling, where people were asking her if she would fire him over his pro-trans views. And this is, of course, the actor, like I said, who was cast to replace the character of Snape, which just doesn't even make any sense because Alan Rickman did such a fantastic job portraying this character, almost, to a T, and then they decided to race swap for virtue signaling points. It's absolutely insane. Harry Potter creator J.K. Rowling addressed speculation that she might fire Papa Asidu, the actor who will play Snape, over the star's pro-trans views. She said, "I don't have the power to sack an actor from the series." She also said, "I wouldn't exercise that power if I did have it." Given the fact that she's like, "I don't believe taking people's jobs away or livelihoods because they hold legally protected beliefs that differ from mine." Well, that's one area that she might be considered based. Again, I think most people give her way too much credit, right? So the reality is she is a very left-wing person. She's a pro-feminist, pro-LGBT, pro-progressivism, and everything else to go with, the downfall of society at this point. And for anybody thinking that this HBO show was ever going to be as, let's just say faithful to the books as maybe the movies were, or at least, to the way things used to be, guess again. Because she doesn't care. If J.K. Rowling doesn't care that they're doing this, if she's just going to be benefiting from, getting financial compensation for this, and she's happy to let them race swap away all of the characters, then I think the easiest thing to do is just to not watch the series. I have no plans on paying for HBO to see this, so again, unless they put it on a different service, I'm not going to be seeing it anyways, and that's a pretty easy thing to just skip. But yeah, that's kind of all the controversy and drama right now, so let me know what you guys think about all this down in the comments below, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Alright, and if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching the video. Thank you for being here. I do have two channels, Minimal Effort Podcast, as well as my gaming channel. I do have a Twitch and Kick for my gaming channel. We do live streams over there occasionally, maybe once a week. And then if you are in the market for a new PC, make sure to check out Meta PCs. Click the link I have down below. Use code TBO at checkout for a special discount. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you next time.